I want to give you a quick tour this week. I am about to get my mulch, my compost, whatever I decide when I go to the store today. So I kind of figured I'll give you a tour this week before I lay all this mulch over the next few days. And then I'll give you another tour next week to end out June. So I wanted to start up here. This is supposed to be my carpet of pink. We've had so much rain. These flowers are not doing the best. I don't know if these two are gonna survive. We're still very early, so I don't really know long-term what they're gonna do. But as of right now, they're not doing the best. We have some rock and roll sedum. We have a Let's Dance blue jangle. I think that is hydrangea. It's an oak leaf hydrangea. It's really doing awesome. It has several buds on it. I'm really excited. I put soil acidifier down and I'm hoping that these come in blue. If not, they're gonna be from a range from like a light blue to a hot pink. So we'll see if my soil acidifier worked. This is a hydrangea tree. Well, I'm making it a tree. It was actually just a limelight hydrangea from the clearance rack last year. Someone had trimmed it like a tree and I'm keeping it like a tree and seeing if I can grow it in this pot. Hydrangeas have done great for me in pots, so giving it a go. Obviously, these daisies, the wind last week and that storm really took some of them down. They're just over, there's so many of them, I need to thin this out. I'm gonna have to, but I need to wait till the weather cools off. These are my clearance spicy devils. I love these. I love the contrast that these spicy devils give, and their growth pattern is really great. They come in lime green in the spring, but then they really darken up as time goes on, and I love the way those look. Russian sage there in the middle. I transplanted a couple, that one right there and that one right there. That one just looks like it's dying. I don't know. We'll see. If they don't come back, I'll just get new ones and plant those next year. Blue Star Jupiter right there. There's no kitty. Hi. I have two tall grass right there. They're like a bluegrass. I had them in the back, but they were in the shade. They were not doing very well. So I brought them up here in full sun. Those were from the clearance rack also. And this is their third year and they're still coming back. This is the best one of the Super Vista bubblegum petunias. Those are the best ones. They're doing great. Like I said, we'll just see how they turn out. I just really wanted all this to be pink and it's semi going as planned, but not going as planned. So I don't know what it will end up looking like. Echinacea, purple cone flowers right here. This one must have gotten eaten by something because it's way smaller compared to those two, but I don't mind. I'm just excited that we finally have a bloom. Obviously, I need to deadhead these a little bit. They're looking a little brown. The zinnias are growing up super nice. Some of them are getting pretty large. I don't know how they're gonna do in here because just like the daisies over there, they get pretty big, but we'll see what they do. The planters are looking great. I probably need to trim up this a little bit. This is the best looking one. I wish these would grow up a little bit more, but honestly, everything's growing and I'm happy. We'll just kind of see how it goes. I probably need to trim up this right here and just kind of give everything else a little bit of space. Here's the other one. These have really popped off in here. They are looking huge, kind of overtaking it. I did trim this last night and I probably should trim this side so that this can, I think it's euphorbia. I think that's what that is. These Superbena verbenas are really going off. I just can't wait till these are gonna get way larger and fill in these areas. The white one is doing awesome. I know you guys love these. Every short I post with these Superbena verbena, everyone loves them. The white ones just really set this area off and I just can't wait to see it just grow and spread. I have I think it's Anna's Magic Ball is what this is. I have another one right there. And then a more mature one over there. That's 3 years old. And that one's like gotten pretty large. I have 6 hydrangeas along the house right there. I have 4 hydrangeas, Bobo Hydrangeas along the front of this flower bed. Wow, there's some big weeds back there. I'm gonna have to get those pulled before I lay the mulch this week. But these have some nice little growth on them. I am so excited to see these bloom. I bought these in gallon quarts last summer. Those came from, yeah, these were gallons. I bought those 6 in quart size 2-3 summers ago. This one is doing the best out of all of them. And I am just so excited to see these full bloom. These Superbenas have just went crazy since all the rain and the heat. They've been great. So I'm really excited about that. These false sunflowers have really shown out. They are just blooming nonstop. I love the black stems on these. It's like a black stem and it looks beautiful. I'm in love with these, and I love how the leaves have a little touch of blush. I think that's even the name of them. And they're great. Oh, what is that? I probably need to get that off of there. But these Supertunias seem to be doing okay. At the same time, they still look a little like the leaves are kind of coming off of them. I don't know. I'm not having luck with the Supertunias in the ground, so this is probably the last time I'm putting them in the ground. However, obviously, as you can tell, the Superbenas are the showstopper here. They look awesome, and I cannot complain about those at all. Here is the daisy patch. I just think they're so cute. I just love the simplicity of them. However, they are getting way taller, way more leggy than I could have ever imagined. The wind is just pushing them down because they're so bunched together. So I'm definitely going to have to thin these out. But like I said earlier, I'm going to have to wait until the weather cools off because I don't want to kill them. This is just a little planter I got. I'm going to trim. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of these flowers off and then put them in a vase and then make some room so that everything else doesn't get crushed. This container is doing awesome. It is really filling out. Everything is filling in very well. I am just in love with yellow this year. I don't know what it is. I'm not usually a yellow fan, but I am this year. The clematis is really surprising me. It's doing way better than I thought. I just keep what I'm doing, because it seems to grow better when it's like wrapped around things, is I just keep coming over here every couple days or so and like wrapping these tentacles so that, because if you notice, they really like to wrap around things. Like here, right there, they really like to wrap around stuff. So I am giving them that, and it's like every time I do that, more and more grows. This plant, you might think it looks a little sad, but I don't think it's too bad. The wind got this too. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim down all these like fallen over ones and then let these grow in again thicker, because it's like the more they come in, the thicker and more hardy they get, and then they'll be standing straight up. So I'm probably going to trim off a lot of those because they just got damaged in the recent storms. And I'm honestly not worried about it because I know they're going to grow back in full force. I really am loving these colors. We have the Storm Burst Superbena Verbenas, and then we have the new Peachy Keens, which I think are so cute. Down in the Woodland Garden area, we had a bad storm last week, if you saw my other videos, and some branches fell. So I need to clean up down here, but we'll do a little quick walkthrough down here. This is probably, I say this is probably my favorite area, but I love all my gardens. I love it all, but I love looking out from the house to this area because especially like these hostas that have the white rims, they really just shine. They shine from the house and they really look good, and it's such a great contrast with the green of the woods. So there's some hostas right there. We have another Blue Star Jupiter, another Spirea. This is a climbing hydrangea that I ordered online. I am so excited to see this grow. You know, it should grow all the way up this tree. This is a big hosta. I do not know what type of hosta this is, but this is my favorite hosta. I split this off from a hosta at my mother-in-law's house, and I'm probably gonna have to go get more because I love this. I love the blue tone. Salvia right here that I recently deadheaded. The bees, you know, took all the pollen off, so I went ahead and took care of those. I got this little plant from the clearance rack. It matched this plant that I got last year, and I got this in the beginning of spring, so it's just now blooming for the first time. This bloomed like a month ago, and these are just now kind of coming out. There's like random boxwoods throughout. These are great winter interest. We absolutely love these here because in the winter, when everything dies off, these just look so great. Green look out here in the winter, and we really loved that. Here are more of those daisies. I don't think they're doing very well under here, but they're not in full sun. They are, I mean, they're growing though. We're putting out some flowers out of every hosta. That I love the color of them. And once again, up against the backdrop of the woods, they just really shine when you're looking at them from the house. These are just a native perennial. They will come up and have hot pink shoots at the top. If I can find a picture of them from last summer. There's also another little hosta right there. I'm gonna have to move that. That is a limelight hydrangea. What I'm gonna do is, this is gonna sound crazy. I have a limelight hydrangea there, and I also have a limelight hydrangea right there. I want to make a limelight hydrangea wall all the way across right there. So I'm going to take that hydrangea and that hydrangea, order 3 more hydrangeas, make one huge wall right there, and then I'm going to replace this hydrangea and that hydrangea with the same type of climbing hydrangeas that I have right there. So that climbing hydrangea will have a climbing hydrangea right there, and then in between there's like 3 sets of trees right there. I'm really curious as to how a climbing hydrangea would climb up there. I'm so intrigued about that, so I'm going to get those ordered here soon so I can plant those. We have more of the Shasta daisies right there, more boxwoods. I'm pretty sure those are yellow daylilies, and I have been really loving, since those have bloomed, looking at those from the house. All my cats are out here. We got Mr. Whiskers, Dutton, and Pebbles. Dutton is Pebbles' mom. They are all fixed now, so we should have no more kittens. This is a little mum that I got on the clearance rack a few years ago, and it has come back 3 years in a row. I will say down here along this area, it stays very wet, and everything winters very well down here. And since my husband put a very thick layer of wood chips down here, and that has really just allowed everything to do great when it comes to overwintering. Come around here, there's our wood chip pile. We lost a big tree branch right here during the most recent storm. One thing I did not anticipate when I made this garden was everything is kind of facing that direction because that's where the light source comes from. So I was not really anticipating that, and I'm not really sure how I feel about it. There's a lot of things you just don't see from that angle, and I might have to reevaluate some things, but we'll see. It's not bad, and I mean, it's nothing that I'm gonna do right now. That's a spirea I got off of the clearance rack. It might need moved too, but we'll see. I can't move anything until the weather cools off because it's just too hot. Things will just not do well. Now here's the heart garden I worked on a few weeks ago. I weeded it, and now we are back in the weeds down here. This area, it just is on the struggle bus, to be quite honest with you. I need to probably tear up these rocks and redo it all. Let me take you to the other side of the woodland garden. This is that hydrangea I was talking about. My very first summer, 3 summers ago, when I was first starting gardening, I got 3 hydrangeas for like $21. Now these hydrangeas are normally like in the gallon containers like 50 bucks. I got them on sale for $7 each at Lowe's, and they've all 3 survived. I've moved them around a million times, and I think I finally have their resting place once I get them moved over to that hydrangea wall. I am going to get one of those climbing hydrangeas, replace it here, and see if it will grow. How wide will it get? Will it grow up all of these trees? I don't know, but it is a great experiment that I want to try. Last summer, my grandma gave me like 50 hostas, and We just kind of put them all along here. My husband found these bushes at work in the trash. Someone was throwing them away. So he pulled them out of the trash and brought them home. Once again, any color that is not this dark green, like this light green, all of these hostas, these bushes very much so shine against the backdrop of the dark green of the woods. I really do love this area, especially looking from the house. So we have, you know, multiple hostas over here. I'll probably move this hosta and that hosta, the dark green ones, just because they blend in with the woods. This is the west side of the woods edge garden. I've really not showed you this side of the garden very much, so I'm going to take you on a quick walk through. These Supertunia Bordeaux's seem to be doing well. I have another Blue Star Jupiter right here. This is a Spirea. I normally keep it pretty circular and tight, but this year I've just kind of let it grow crazy because I don't know, I think it looks good. I'm definitely becoming a little bit more lax gardener. Here is some Dusty Miller new leaves that I planted from seed last year. This is not my zone. I think it's zone 7 and up, and somehow it survived over here. I'll take it. I just kind of left it there. I might dig it up and put it in a planter. These are 3 of my 6 hydrangeas out here, the Bobo Hydrangeas. They have a lot of blooms on them. They look really awesome. There's one of those Anna's Golden Globes. I might not be saying that right, but this is 3 years old, so it's a little bit more mature than those ones on the other side. These huge hostas, they really thrive here. They're, if you can see, they're kind of taking over where the hydrangeas are. Like I said, I'm gonna scoot everything out. What in the heck is that? What in the heck is that? Okay, that is weird. I do not know what that is, but I'm gonna have to figure that out. I planted these corabels here. There should be 4 of them, but the deer ate them off. And it's hard to see within the weeds. I need to get these weeds pulled. I will before our next tour. But these corabels, I kind of did it for fall interest. I don't really like these colors. A lilac bush, it's very old. My grandma came and trimmed it up, which really helped it. There is another one of those 3. This is one of the 3 limelight hydrangeas back here. It is growing great. I'm gonna leave this one here. And then I just have this area surrounded by hostas. There's some ground cover that was here when I moved in. And then here are some autumn joy sedums, and then just more hostas. I really need to get in here and do some weeding because it's looking a little overgrown. So that's my tour for today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in the next one.